Have you ever scrolled through social media and felt that sting in your chest, that silent whisper saying, "Why not me?" Have you ever watched someone win and instead of feeling inspired, you felt left behind? If you've been there, you're not broken. You're human. And today, I'm going to show you how to turn that very feeling into the fuel that drives your success. Before we dive in, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because here we talk about building an unshakable mind, unstoppable discipline, and a life you can be proud of. Let's break jealousy down, strip away its poison, and transform it into your greatest weapon for growth. 1. Recognizing hidden triggers. Jealousy doesn't just come out of nowhere. It has roots. Sometimes it's triggered when you see someone achieving something you secretly wish you had the courage to pursue. Sometimes it's sparked when someone's success shines a light on your own inaction. You might see a friend land a dream job and feel a pang, not because you begrudge them the win, but because deep down you know you've been procrastinating on updating your own resume. The emotion feels personal, but it's actually a mirror reflecting back your own unmet goals. Instead of shaming yourself for feeling jealous, get curious. Ask yourself, what exactly about this person or situation is making me feel this way? The answer will often reveal what you truly desire, and that's powerful information. For example, if you feel envious of someone traveling the world, the trigger might be freedom, adventure, or financial flexibility. If it's their confidence in public speaking, the trigger might be your own wish to express yourself boldly. When you name the root, you take away some of its power, because now it's not a vague ache, it's a clear target for growth. Jealousy is a signal, not a sentence. If you recognize your triggers, you take the first step toward controlling them, instead of letting them control you. The moment you see jealousy as data rather than doom, you start to operate from choice instead of compulsion. You can decide, okay, this isn't about them. This is about me wanting X in my own life. That shift reframes jealousy from being a destructive force to being a compass pointing toward your aspirations. Part of this recognition process involves slowing down your emotional reactions. Often, jealousy flares up instantly before you have time to think. By practicing mindfulness, even something as simple as taking 3 slow breaths when you feel the sting, you give yourself a gap between stimulus and response. In that space, you can observe your emotions without being consumed by them. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can investigate the feeling with curiosity. Hidden triggers are tricky because they often tie back to old stories you tell yourself. Maybe you were once told you'd never be as talented as a sibling, or that success only happens to people with certain connections. These beliefs lurk in the background, and every time you see someone defy them, the jealousy surfaces. But this is where the work lies, unpacking those inherited beliefs and deciding whether they're still serving you. Often, they're not. When you start treating jealousy like an internal alarm system rather than an enemy, you gain agency. Every twinge becomes a chance to dig deeper into your own psychology. It's not about suppressing jealousy or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about using it as a clue to uncover your next step. This is emotional self-mastery at work. The ability to recognize, interpret, and transform your emotions into guidance.
2. Shifting from scarcity to abundance mindset. Jealousy thrives in scarcity. It whispers, there's not enough success to go around. But here's the truth. Life is not a zero-sum game. Someone else having what you want does not mean it's suddenly off the table for you. The scarcity mindset frames life as a competition where one person's win automatically makes you a loser. That belief system fuels bitterness, insecurity, and stagnation because it convinces you that the race is already over before you've even started running. When you shift to an abundance mindset, you realize that someone else's win doesn't mean your loss. Their achievement is proof that it's possible, not proof that it's over for you. Think about it. If a friend starts a thriving business, that's not a door closing. It's evidence that the door exists and can be opened. Abundance thinking flips the narrative from "there's not enough" to "there's more than enough for everyone willing to do the work." It's the mental shift from competition to collaboration, from resentment to inspiration. This shift requires constant practice. Every time you catch yourself thinking, "I wish that were me," replace it with, "If they can, I can." That small mental pivot changes jealousy into motivation. It's a conscious choice to see others as trailblazers rather than rivals. Even better, this mindset makes you more open to learning from them instead of secretly wishing for their downfall. You start seeing opportunities to collaborate, share ideas, or simply be inspired by their example. The abundance mindset is not naive optimism. It's strategic. It keeps you focused on possibilities instead of perceived threats. It recognizes that the universe doesn't operate on a fixed pie model. In most areas of life, success is expandable. Technology, creativity, knowledge, and influence grow with use, not depletion. When you embrace this, your sense of urgency shifts from panic, "I'm too late," to action, "let's get moving." Of course, scarcity thinking doesn't vanish overnight. You'll still have moments where you compare yourself to others and feel like you're behind. The difference is that now you'll have the tools to challenge that belief. You'll remind yourself that your timeline is your own, that the market for dreams and goals is far bigger than you can see, and that the only true competition worth engaging in is with the person you were yesterday. An abundance mindset turns jealousy into a growth catalyst. Instead of shrinking in the presence of someone else's success, you expand. You see their progress as a spark to ignite your own. You stop hoarding ideas out of fear and start sharing, networking, and building relationships that open more doors. In short, abundance thinking doesn't just dissolve jealousy, it replaces it with momentum.
3. Using others' success as a blueprint. Instead of letting someone else's success intimidate you, study it. Break it down. Reverse engineer it. This means moving from emotional reaction to analytical observation. If someone has achieved what you want, they have left behind a trail of clues, habits, choices, mindsets that you can examine. They've already done some of the heavy lifting by proving what's possible. Your job is to figure out how they did it. Ask yourself, what are they doing daily that I'm not? What skills have they mastered? What sacrifices have they made? Maybe they've been consistent in posting content, networking, or practicing their craft when no one was watching. Maybe they invested in training, took calculated risks, or endured failures without quitting. Once you identify those patterns, you can adapt them to your own path. You don't need to copy everything. You just need to find the principles that are transferable to your situation. Jealousy is wasted energy if all you do is dwell on it. But if you turned it into research, it becomes a personal growth shortcut. Instead of guessing what works, you're modeling strategies that have already been tested in the real world. This doesn't mean you'll replicate their journey exactly. Your context, strengths, and challenges will differ, but it gives you a framework to start from instead of reinventing the wheel. This approach also humbles you in a good way. Studying someone's success forces you to confront the gap between your current habits and the results you want. It can be uncomfortable to realize they've been putting in years of work while you've been waiting for inspiration to strike. But that discomfort is useful. It pushes you to close the gap instead of resenting it. Another benefit of using others as blueprints is that it dismantles the myth of overnight success. You often find that what looked like a sudden breakthrough was actually the result of years of effort, failed experiments, and unseen persistence.
This perspective helps you be more patient with your own journey, because you understand that meaningful results are rarely immediate. In the end, this method transforms jealousy from a passive emotion into an active learning tool. Instead of being stuck in comparison, you become a student of excellence. Every success story you encounter becomes a free masterclass. Over time, you'll not only replicate certain patterns, but also innovate on them, creating your own blueprint that others may one day study. That's the full circle moment, when you've moved from envying success to embodying it.
4. Developing relentless self-discipline. Envy without action is just self-torture. Once you've identified what you want and learned from others, you must put in the work, consistently. Many people waste years in a loop of observation and comparison, convincing themselves they're preparing when in truth they're procrastinating. They scroll, they watch, they analyze, but they never act. And here's the reality. Until you turn those observations into disciplined effort, nothing changes. Envy that isn't converted into disciplined motion becomes poison, corroding your self-respect from the inside. It's far better to take imperfect action daily than to wait for perfect circumstances that never arrive. Discipline is what separates dreamers from doers. It's waking up when you said you would, keeping promises to yourself, and moving forward even when it's boring, uncomfortable, or hard. This is where most people falter. They expect motivation to carry them, not realizing that motivation is fickle and unreliable. The disciplined individual works on rainy days, in bad moods, and in silence when no one is watching. They don't rely on inspiration. They rely on structure, commitment, and habit. The Stoics understood this well. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning that he would meet people who were selfish, ungrateful, and difficult, yet he would still do his duty. Discipline is the daily proof that your values matter more than your mood. Channel the energy from jealousy into your daily grind. Every time you feel that spark of envy, let it be the reminder to double down on your own path. Don't waste energy wishing you had what someone else does. Use it as a signal to refine your plan, to sharpen your craft, to train harder, to study deeper. Jealousy is simply untamed desire. Discipline is how you tame it and make it serve you. Instead of saying, "Why them and not me?" say, "If they can, so can I, and I'll prove it through action." The person you envy is proof that the goal is possible. Your discipline is proof that you will achieve it. Self-discipline is a skill, not a personality trait. You build it the same way you build muscle, by repetition, by resistance, by doing what is hard until it becomes your new normal. Start small. Wake up on time. Complete one focused hour of work without distraction. Follow through on one promise to yourself each day. These small acts compound into a mindset where quitting is no longer an option. Discipline breeds self-respect, and self-respect fuels even greater discipline. Once you've built that cycle, your progress becomes inevitable.
5. Becoming your own competition. At the highest level of growth, you're no longer chasing someone else. You're chasing your own potential. This is the shift from external validation to internal mastery. In the beginning, it's natural to look at others as benchmarks. They show you what's possible. But if you stay there too long, you remain a follower. The real transformation happens when you measure your worth not against another's progress, but against your own. When you wake up each day asking, "How can I be better than I was yesterday?" you have entered the arena of true self-mastery. Now, the only opponent is the weaker version of yourself you left behind. Compare yourself only to who you were yesterday. Set higher standards, break your own records, and aim to surprise yourself with what you're capable of. If yesterday you wrote 500 words, today aim for 600. If yesterday you ran 2 miles, today aim for 2.5. Progress doesn't have to be dramatic, it just has to be consistent.
This approach removes the toxic weight of comparison because it keeps the focus on your personal growth curve. The Stoics called this oikiosis, the idea of becoming more aligned with your own nature and potential over time, not through others' measures, but through your own inner compass. When you become your own competition, jealousy loses its grip because you're too focused on your own race to worry about anyone else's. You stop seeing others as threats and start seeing them as fellow travelers. Their wins inspire you, but they don't define you. You know that your journey is uniquely yours, with its own pace, obstacles, and victories. This mindset creates resilience because it anchors your self-worth in something you control entirely, your own effort and improvement. Make self-competition a structured habit. Keep a journal of your daily actions, noting where you succeeded, where you fell short, and where you can improve. Review it weekly, not to shame yourself, but to track patterns and make deliberate adjustments. This practice turns self-growth into a measurable, motivating game, you versus you. Over time, this not only accelerates your development, but also builds unshakable confidence. Because the truth is, when you consistently beat your old self, no external competition can intimidate you. You are too busy winning the only race that truly matters, the one within.
Jealousy is only destructive when you let it sit and rot. But when you channel it, it becomes fuel, powerful, focused, and unstoppable. The next time you feel that sting, don't shrink away from it. Recognize it, reframe it, and let it push you into action. Remember, you're not here to watch life happen. You're here to make it happen. So subscribe, stay committed, and start turning envy into the fire that drives you.